bring our city in a negative light. I recently saw a Chris 6 TV news story that the City of Rockport ordered to provide sufficient evidence of refunds for a third time. And led the story off with this quote. A data dump that was what an administrative judge has called the City of Rockport's efforts to provide refunds. Leave the citizens in court to wonder what the hell it is. The story went on, and some of the statements were incomplete and riddled with errors, not enough information. The city should refrain from complaining and wasting time. The third deadline is in the last year is 10 days from today. And the judge shall see file a timely and purely professional response. Our city manager blames our third-party billing program and takes no responsibility for these failures. The excuse is the third-party billing company has not been able to present it exactly what it wants. Let's break that down. They simply want the meter size to determine the rate and the usage for those 3 months. They can determine if the refund has been done. A year ago, the city turned in a legal document that testified to the court that all refunds have been done and done correctly. My question is, how did y'all calculate the refunds were done and done correctly, but 11 months have yet been able to turn in the usage and meter sizes to the PUC? Let's not overcomplicate this report. It's meter sizes and usage. Those are the two basic data points to bill a customer each month. The recent Rockport story states, Administrative Law Judge Susan E. Goodson expressed strong skepticism in the December 17th court order, questioning how Rockport could attest to the completeness of the refund without supporting documentation, especially given the limited data set requested. The article ends with, the coming months will be crucial in determining whether Rockport can adequately justify its refund claims and restore public trust. Then just recently, another newspaper article titled Rockport Utilities, a tidal wave of outrage over water bills. Lots of complaints question the city's ability to run the utility accurately, especially were stated in this third recent newspaper. The city is lucky they are a government entity, where accountability to do your job is seldom expected nor enforced. This would not be acceptable in a private business. Today, after your staff has put the city in such a bad light, and has been covered several times in local media, I remind you, the buck stops with y'all. The staff works for you. Therefore, the blame on who got us into this mess falls at your feet. The failure to get us out of this mess also falls at your feet. The time is long past for action from the city council. The staff cannot or does not want to comply with the judge's orders. Both are alarming, and excuses are not good enough. I request you order a complete audit of our utility to comply with the judge and also to dig deep into data and feelings within this utility. This would be a good first step in gaining public trust. I think it's our first meeting of the year, so I want to take my New Year's resolution is not be here as often. But I do sincerely want to thank each one of y'all for your public service. I know it's a thankless job, and it's hard to sit there and have to listen to what the citizens got to say. So I'll say Happy New Year, and thank you again for your service. Thank you.
Thank you. Agenda items number 4, the ceremony matters and proclamations. We don't have any tonight, so we're going to go to the consent agenda. Would any of the city council like to take any of the consent agenda off the, the following items may be acted upon in a single motion. No separate discussion or action on any of these items will be held unless pulled at the request of a member of city council. Would any of you guys like to pull any of these agenda items? Otherwise, I'd like to make them, or like to get a motion.
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
In a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in, Ward 2?
Aye.
Or Ward 1?
One.
You keep choosing
Aye.
saying there. Ward 3?
Aye.
Ward 4, aye. All in favor? All right. We're going to go to item number 5, ordinances, resolutions, and public hearings. Request to rezone the property located at 2101.2111.2121 FM 3036, also known as Lot 122, Fulton Outlots and Lot 1, Block 1, the Oasis Subdivision, being 10.0972 acres, to the PUD Planned Unit Development, currently zoned B1, General Business District. We're going to hold a public hearing to receive comments for or against the request. So I just open the public hearing. Okay. Opening the public hearing at 6:36. Is there anyone that would like to speak on this matter? We have them on Zoom?
Yeah, she's on Zoom. She's off again. She's been on and off twice. Is she the property owner? She represents Mr. Butcher. I've got one more coming in. All right. She's
what is her name, Carrie? Kathleen. Kathleen, can you hear us? Hello? Okay. Carrie, do you want to? Yeah, I'll have you explain it. Mhm. Close the public hearing. I'm going to close the public hearing at 6:37. So number 2 of this request is consider the approval on first of 2 readings for ordinance 1961 amending the official zoning map as request to rezone the property located at 2101.2111.2121 FM 3036, also known as Lot 122, Fulton Outlots and Lot 1, Block 1, the Oasis Subdivision being 10.0972 acres, to the PUD, the PUD, Planned Unit Development, currently zoned B1, General Business District, repealing all ordinances in conflict therewith, providing for severability, and providing an effective date. Carrie?
So this is, I don't know if you all know where the Oasis is located on 3036. It's that development, and then the 5 acres next to that, or maybe that's 2.5, for commercial. They plan to do a venue for people to come and for food trucks and, you know, music and whatever, and then some storage in the back, because a PUD is a combination of residential and commercial. Are you there, Kathleen? No, I thought I heard her. And they want to, so the Oasis was built, all the little cottages, originally for rental purposes, but they want to do an HOA, a condominium regime, and sell them individually, which they could do and just maintain the property, but they want to give each structure owner some of the property, but the lots would be too small to meet the minimum of 5,000. So doing the PUD, that's the way to get a variance for that, is you do a PUD and you do each of the lots smaller than what is normally allowed. There's an exhibit in your packet showing how many, I think there's 62, and then the condominium paperwork is in there as well, how they'll all have to pay a fee to maintain the private drives and the green spaces and the pool and all of that. And then the commercial, like I said, will be a venue for outdoor events with food trucks and that sort of thing, with boat storage in the rear of that.
Council have any questions?
Mayor Pro Tem, I believe it's the P&Z.
They voted unanimously to approve.
They discussed the selling point of around 200,000,
yes.
I believe. So this does kind of get us into that attainable housing.
They're small.
They're small. Are they 2-1s, 3-1s? Do you know?
Gosh.
Or 1-1s?
There's some 1-1s, I believe.
I think there is some 2-1s because I looked
Two
up.
ones.
They have listings on like Airbnb and still.
Right.
I saw a 2-1.
Okay.
Right.
I don't know that I saw anything greater than 2-1.
It's just 2 ones.
I think so.
I mean,
I didn't see.
They're
I can't
nice.
vouch for that.
I don't know if you've been in any of them, but they're really cute.
But they're not the tiny homes. They're the actual
No.
structures, slab on grades.
Yes.
You know, frame built, and if that's what it takes to just get us into the attainable housing, you know, it's not an apartment. So
Right.
And I think my only comment to you is, and I know you said that you look into it, just, I know you said the drainage pond is supposed to go out to 3036, but I also want to make sure that they're looking into Chaparral, because I know that back end has issues with their drainage when it rains a lot here, so we have to make sure if we're putting more concrete or putting anything else
Well,
in there.
I know the Oasis's engineered drainage plan included the pond that's in the rear of the property to hold their water so that they could meet that residential runoff rate to Chaparral. Now, the front piece won't drain to Chaparral. It will go to 3036.
I just want to make sure that
We'll
keeping
watch it.
both eyes on there.
Yes.
Anything else? Make a motion.
I move to approve item 8 as presented.
I will second.
Thank you.
And so Ward 1,
Aye.
Ward 2 is not here, Ward 3,
Aye.
Ward 4, aye. Mayor's not here, so we're all in favor. There's no. Motion passes. Agenda item number 9. Consider the approval of the first of two readings on ordinance 1960 to amend ordinance 1944, amending the Convention and Visitor Bureau Board by adding an ex-officio position for the Aransas County Navigation District member. Shelley?
So we adopted a new ordinance creating the CVB, and we have appointed everyone. And at the first meeting, the Board of Directors recommended adding another seat for the navigational district. And so that's what this is. And so since we created the ordinance, since we created the board as an ordinance, we have to go through two readings.
I would just like to add that being on the CV board, they had mentioned we do have a lot of events that do happen on the festival grounds, so having the NAV district as, you know, on there just makes sense to have some input and stuff and how those events are marketed out into our town. So I think it would be a good idea to have it. So, and do you guys have any other?
No, I think it's good.
No, I'm fine. It makes one more person and not a surprise to them for something that's coming to their. Yeah, I'll move to approve item 9 as presented.
And I'll second.
Okay. Ward 1.
Aye.
Ward 2's not here. Ward 3.
Aye.
Ward 4, aye. Mayor here. Motion passes. All in favor. Okay. Agenda item number 10. Consider the approval on a second and final reading for ordinance 1959, amending the official zoning map as stipulated under Article 4.1 of the City of Rockport zoning ordinance number 1027 by changing the zoning of land from B1 General Business District for property located at 317 East Liberty, also known as Lot 2A, Kimmons Acres Subdivision, to R1 for Single Family Dwelling District, repealing all ordinances in conflict therewith, providing for severability, and providing an effective date. Carrie?
This is the second reading for Mr. Pick's rezone to residential.
Okay. And there was no changes?
No.
Okay. Did council have any questions or comments?
Move to approve item 10 as presented.
I'll second.
Thank you. Ward 1.
Aye.
Ward 2 not here. Ward 3.
Aye.
Ward 4 aye. Mayor not here. Motion passes. Okay. Agenda item number 11. Consider the approval of resolution 2025-02R expressing official intent to reimburse costs incurred for the acquisition and construction of various capital improvements in the city. Fire station. Robbie?
Mayor and council, we discussed this at our December meeting, that we would go ahead and use general fund reserves to begin the work on the fire station with the intent to either reimburse ourselves with insurance money or whatever funding source we secured, whether it be a GO, a tax note, or whatever we worked through to fund that construction. We heard back from insurance, they've offered us another penance of $30,000, so we'll continue to go towards them to get more of that covered before we pull the trigger on the borrowing of the debt. But this is just the resolution of the intent to reimburse ourselves.
This is not an, I'm sorry. It is not an issuance of debt.
This is not that. Nope. This is our reimbursement resolution.
This is from when we discussed taking it out of the reserves.
Yeah, we'll take it out of reserves, but with the intent of paying ourselves back from whichever funding source comes through for it. So we can go ahead and get started on the work. Otherwise, it's going to languish for
Another year.
ever, waiting on insurance.
We need to get them back in there.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments? Anyone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve agenda item 11 as presented.
Second.
Okay. Ward 1.
Aye.
Ward 2 not here. Ward 3.
Aye.
Ward 4 aye. Mayor not here. Motion passes unanimously. Agenda item number 12. Consider the approval of resolution 2025-03R authorizing the award of administrative project delivery service provider contracts for the Disaster Recovery Reallocation Program, with the funds being allocated through the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD. Kim?
Mayor and Council. This is a program we're going after for 3 possible grants. They consist of completion of concho drainage, completion of the backup comm center here at the Rockport Service Center, and completion of Reach 5 for Bayshore Drive. And this is just the preliminary process to get us started. There was 2 bids received, and the one that received the highest score is GrantWorks. So the staff is recommending approval of the resolution to GrantWorks. Just as a reminder, this does have a 10% match on whichever we get, hopefully all 3, but at the very least, it does cost a 10% match, but we won't know that amount till we know which grants we receive.
So any questions or comments?
The 10% or what does that come out of in our budget?
Where?
Yes, ma'am.
It would come from reserves.
Reserves.
Yes, sir.
Depending on the amount, we might have other sources that we can look to, but it'll depend on the bang for the buck.
10% is better than 100%.
Yep.
So if we get some of these things paid for through grants,
When we do figure out what the 10% is,
That would have to be brought back to council for
Yes.
approval. So even once, so the next deadline is in February for them to say, yes, you get the option to, maybe we get to choose all 3, but if they limit us to 1 or 2 of them, at that point, we start moving forward, and then we won't know till April, but at some point, they will require us to do another resolution showing that we are committing to that 10% match. They're not asking us to at this time. We're just making sure you're aware that it will be required.
I move to approve item 12 as presented.
second. And Ward 1.
Aye.
Ward 2, not here. Ward 3.
Aye.
Ward 4, aye. Mayor, not here. Motion passes unanimously. Agenda item number 13. Consider the approval of Resolution 2025-04R, authorizing the award of engineering architectural service provider contracts for the Disaster Recovery Reallocation Program, with funds being allocated through the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development HUD. Kim, this is you again.
Yes, this is the same grant, but this is regarding the engineer portion of it. So the same parameters apply. It's just the engineer. We did seek our typical, putting it out to 5 or more companies and hubs and things of that nature. However, we only received 1 response, and we have vetted that response too, and it's to Urban DCCM. And again, it's this one doesn't have their dollar figure on it. That's what we negotiate once we know what the project is and can stay within our grant parameters. So again, that would have to be brought back to y'all for approval as well.
Any questions or comments from council?
Move to approve item 13 as presented.
Second. Ward 1.
Aye.
Ward 2, not here. Ward 3.
Aye.
Ward 4, aye. Mayor, not here. Motion passes unanimously. We are now under other action items and updates. So on agenda item number 14, consider the approval to move the February 25th, 2025 City Council regular meeting to Wednesday, February 26th, 2025. Shelley?
So the Rockport Fulton Chamber of Commerce has scheduled their legislative day on February the 26th. And if the council wants to attend that, it's going to interfere with our council meeting. And so we are proposing to move that council meeting to Monday in order for, if you want to attend.
I think this is, yeah, it's saying move the meeting of the 25th
Move it
to Wednesday, the 26th.
Oh, I have that backwards,
So we
don't
need
I?
to correct the date.
I have that backwards. The legislative day is Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah, our regular meeting would be on the 25th, and you're proposing to move it to Wednesday, the 26th.
Right.
So you come back on the 26th and then go to the meeting, is what you're.
I do not know, do y'all, I don't know if y'all stay the night in Austin,
night
or after
before.
legislative day you come back?
So you stay the 25th, and usually that night the mayor does have a discussion with the kids that get chosen to go there. They get to ask questions
Okay.
to certain entities and who they choose, and usually the mayor is one of them. And then you stay the night on the 25th, and on the 26th is when the Capitol tours, and they usually drive home that day.
Okay.
So, but it's not a guarantee what time you get home, so that might be a timing-wise thing.
So, Art, can we just move it to the 27th? I didn't realize it was, yeah.
Can we table this until our latter meeting of January, and then that way you have more information and we can make the decision then?
Right, we can do that, and then I can find out if y'all want to attend or not.
Okay.
Well, it does say that, yeah, it is a little specific. on the agenda.
Yeah, so we're gonna table and bring it back. Okay,
And that's the thing, it gives the other two, an option, buying in on the date that we're moving it to.
That's fair.
okay, thank you, sorry.
You're welcome.
Do we need to make a motion to
Yeah, do you
table
need
it?
to, do you need to,
Or just take it off the agenda because it's not correct? Okay. All right, we are gonna move on to agenda item number 15. Consider the award of bid to Turbomachinery Industries for the rehab 2 pumps at the Peninsula Oaks Pump Station, not to exceed $135,909.04. Ryan?
So a little background on item 15. We have 2 pumps out there that are in need of some help. It's kind of at the end of their life cycle. These pumps can be 25, 30-year pumps. These are sitting at 35 plus years. So we went out for bids, and Turbomachinery came back. They do some of our maintenance already, diagnostics, things like that, greasing. They gave us a quote to rebuild 2 of the pumps to brand new, and gave us, I asked them for the highest number, do not exceed number, and it was $135,909.04. We did a previous pump in the same well house that was even older, and that price went for $38,000. So I asked them for a high number just to make sure I wouldn't have to come back to council. But we're looking, they didn't want to bid themselves out of a job, but I think they're the only people that we got a good bid from. So staff recommendation is to rehab these pumps, and they will bring us into the future longer than we'll be here. So hopefully with great maintenance and watching these things 35 plus years.
essentially,
Any
Go ahead,
questions?
sorry.
essentially rebuilding the internal, I mean, everything in the pump?
Yeah, so the pump that was rebuilt was almost the entirety of the pump. It had sit for 15 years, just because we have multiple pumps there. This one was never ran or maintenanced, and they rehabbed it, and it was pretty bad, and it was the $38,000. It's a smaller pump, but yeah, seals, gaskets, things like that, and we're having some dripping issues, and so they're recommending rehab of it. But this will be the last time you probably have to touch them.
So the previous pump was rehabbed at 38 as an individual pump, so you're expecting about 80,000 for 2, correct? But we're pitching the 135 for leniency.
Yeah, that's
But
just.
will you bring this definitive number back to us?
I will have a definitive number once they pull the pump. So what we want to do is pull a pump, and we want to pull a pump. They'll go through the diagnostics, and then we'll have a price.
He doesn't wanna bring back the definitive number, that's why we're doing them not to exceed. It'll go in, when they tear down the pump, they'll have a better number, but we know it won't go over the 135. If it goes over the 135.9, then it does have to come back to you. But if it stays under that for the 2 pumps, it would not come back to you, because there needs to be some wiggle room.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
And when they tear it down and start rehabbing it, they're not gonna stop and wait for an approval.
Do you think we need $55,000 of wiggle room?
if they bust in there and something is really bad, we should find it.
Yeah, so some of the options, we went through it pretty extensively. I could buy the two new ones for $256,000. So that was the big difference of it. Or I can have them expedited too for $179,000 for the rehab. The biggest thing is the redundancy of the pump. So if I pull one pump, that means I don't have a backup. And so this is kind of to expedite that, so I can have all my pumps there at one time in case we have a catastrophic failure. Then another pump
I
will
just
kick
want
on.
us to be mindful if, I want to make sure we can complete it with complete accuracy, and dependability. Just that's a huge number of wiggle room for me, so,
So
it
this is
needs to be done,
budget-
but we
This
need
is
to be mindful.
budgeted maintenance, I'm sorry, budgeted maintenance money.
Mhm.
If it's not spent, it just stays in our budget.
Correct.
But he wants to have the flexibility to say, this one's done. It's-
No, I understand that.
But if
So
it,
yeah, it's big, it's a big swing.
but if it does exceed it,
It-
and it's already pulled out, you're gonna have to do it and you have to spend it.
Yeah,
That's my-
I mean, it's there, like, it's in the budget to do. I
What if
just,
it exceeds it though, I think is what I'm asking.
And it's already pulled out.
it
and
won't
they come back.
exceed it. This was the maximum of to have to rebuild every nut and bolt and everything. That's why
At
we
its
grabbed.
absolute worst.
That's
regardless.
that's the not to exceed. That's what we said. I want a full rehab. He didn't want to give us this number because he didn't want to lose the contract. But I wanted y'all to see the difference of what we could do and what's the worst case scenario and what a brand new one cost and go and hit every one of those points. But like you said, they're looking at 40 and he was willing to give us those quotes, but I don't want to have to come back and ask for more money is what it is, or approval to spend more.
Maybe just, it would be nice for me to have an update of what it would cost.
So we'll have updates once we pull the first pump, and we'll have a price to do it. We just want to be able to do that. I can't start the process without some kind of approval.
Yeah, if you don't mind, just along the way, kind of providing us some updates.
You can put the final amounts in his,
A weekly report,
in his Friday report.
will that
That'd be perfect.
suffice?
Mhm.
And that shouldn't be a problem, and the turnaround will be pretty quick. So when we get the first one in, we'll go from there and then get y'all's grades.
Sounds good.
Okay, any other questions?
Move to approve item 15 as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, Ward 1?
Aye.
Ward 2 not here. Ward 3?
Aye.
Ward 4? Aye. Mayor not here. Motion passes unanimously. Okay, agenda item number 16. Consider a presentation and request for funding from the class of 2025 Aransas Leadership Class for class project. Vanessa?
I don't see anybody here to present that, so I'm gonna say that we can pass on it.
Yeah, I don't see them either. So we're just gonna,
Yep, pull it from the agenda, please.
okay, I'm gonna pull agenda item 16 due to people not here to present.
Will you, be in contact with them to see if they can come to the next meeting though? Okay.
All right, we're gonna go to, city manager, go ahead.
They were notified of this meeting.
Okay.
Yes, they are aware. I was at the meeting when they were told about this meeting. I'm very surprised they're not here.
Yeah. But because of the class, it would be nice to give them an additional opportunity. I mean,
You got it?
Okay, so let's see, city manager's update. Be confused.
sorry.
I don't have anything new. The only thing I have, the things I have will be discussed in executive session.
Agenda item, we're gonna have city council report. We're gonna go to Ward 1.
Not too much to report at this time. I do encourage Thursday night, South Rockport Neighbors is having their monthly meeting, so anyone that would like to attend, highly encouraged. They will be discussing the TIRZ zone. I think the county, NAV district representative from the city is gonna be there, so. Other than that, I enjoyed holiday with my family, and I hope everyone else stayed safe and enjoyed their holiday as well.
We'll go right to Ward 3.
I want to wish everybody a Happy New Year. We made it through the Christmas and New Year's, and I think everybody came back, so grateful for that. This weekend, we had a HOA meeting with the Key Allegro homeowners. Chief and I were presenting on Zoom, and they didn't fire us yet, so I think we did okay. Chief was able to present some good, some crime statistics for the community for Key Allegro, and I gave a little update on some of the things that we actually did for Key Allegro throughout the year, and that was about it. And look forward to a prosperous 2025 for everyone.
And I guess I'm next, so Ward 4. Nothing for the holidays throughout now, but I do have a HOA meeting on the 17th for the Rockport Country Club. We will obviously be discussing, I will be attending and asking the chief to attend, talking about the speed limit, because they are the full force pulling for the speed limit change here in town. So we have to go and discuss with them what the next steps are and what they're looking at. And then Shelly, just real quick, I missed the CVB meeting yesterday due to work. Is there like a quick update you can give on it?
They have, sorry. They, it was a good meeting. They talked about how we're gonna look going forward. They want the job posted as soon as possible. They want to hire a contract person to work on some of our media, social media, and things like that right now, and work with the 2 TV stations to help us push those things out until we hire someone in place, which they want done as soon as possible. Oh, and we heard from Kelly DeShawn. Some of you might have seen her at the last Economic Development Summit. She's going to do a little contract work for us on some tourism help. She comes from the city of Galveston, and now she's working for, I think it's a COG of sorts, but she's going to do some contract work for that group as well to help us bolster some tourism. But otherwise, it was a really good meeting.
Okay,
it was a workshop.
Yes. I just wanted to give a quick update on that. Thank you very much. And I think that's it. So we are now going to go into executive session. The council will recess into open meeting and and reconvene an executive session pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.071, consultation with attorney, Texas Government Code 551.072, real property, Texas Government Code 551.074, personnel matters, Texas Government Code 55.076, security, Texas Government Code 551.087, economic development negotiations, Texas Government Code 551.089, IT security, and Texas Government Code 551.0745, personnel matters affecting County Advisory Board. The City Council will consider the following items in executive session. The Council may also consider any other matter posted on the agenda if there are issues that require consideration in executive session, and the Council announces that item will be considered during executive session. We are now in executive session at 7:04. What? I got it, thank you. I announced it. We're good. Okay. The City Council reconvene into regular session upon the conclusion of the executive session. The City Council may take action or any item posted in the executive session as necessary. We do not have any today. So I will take a
Motion to adjourn.
Okay. Motion to adjourn at 8:07.
Good job, Brad.